Now, the next thing I want to talk about is offline marketing. So this is, all the things that you do, like direct mail postcards, letters, door hangers, flyers, business cards. All those things need to have your website on them. And I don't recommend bandit signs necessarily for website, because what you want to do is call them when they're driving by. And sometimes a website's kind of hard to remember or write down as somebody's driving by your bandit sign. And besides that, if they're not necessarily legal where you're at, you could get in trouble with the city. They could find you a little bit easier if you have a website. So some people don't recommend having websites on direct mail, though. And the reason I think that people don't recommend it sometimes is because they're concerned that sellers are going to go online, get distracted, and check out your competition. And while that can happen, my take on it is that they're truly motivated and they don't want to call somebody, you're giving them another way to contact you and find out more about you. So if there's a little bit of hesitation there with your direct mail, maybe the website will push them over the edge to contact you. And it's going to allow you to build some credibility and some rapport with them. It's also a reason for wanting a somewhat short domain name for your website, is because if you have it on the postcard or letters or anywhere else, you don't want to have somebody have to type out something like "we buy all kinds of houses in the state of Texas.com" just to go to your website. It's too much. It's too risky, big of a chance for them to misspell something and then think your website doesn't work, and then you lose credibility. So having a somewhat shorter domain name is beneficial in that respect, and something that's not hard to spell. So if you've got something and that's kind of hard to spell, maybe you want to rethink it. But some investors add QR codes to their postcards and letters so that people can scan them and have them go straight to their website. I've not tried this. I think the demographic of a lot of the sellers that I've bought from, I'm not too sure that they're savvy enough or would want to or typically do that kind of thing. But I haven't tested it, so it might work well in your area, worth a shot. And when we talk about this problem of putting, when some people say that they don't recommend putting a website on the direct mail, the issue I think is more of, where somebody either types it in wrong or something like that, or they type it in and they kind of search for it instead of actually just going directly to that website URL. So, my website's Danny Buys Houses. So somebody might just type in Danny space buys space houses into Google, and they're going to see search results. And so the problem then is when they do that, there's a chance that they're going to go to competition. But there's a way that you can sort of prevent that sort of problem by having, making sure that you set up a Facebook page for your business, a Google My Business page, a listing on Yelp.com, that's YELP, and other review sites. If you set those up with your company name, your domain name, that people would search into the search engine, you're going to end up, if you do those right, have them there for a while. And the important thing with those kind of things is you got to have a business address that you have on there that's consistent across all of them, and then also on your website. So it's important to also socially promote those pages as well, the Facebook page, the Google My Business, listing page on Yelp, all that kind of stuff. So what happens if you get those things to rank well for your company name or your website, then when people search like that, you're going to end up showing up for multiple results on the first page. So you can kind of dominate that page, so it's not a problem at that point. So that's just an idea for you if you find that that's an issue. And sometimes people don't even think to search their company name or their website and then reviews or something like that in Google and just see what comes up. You might be surprised what comes up. So if you find that you're not showing there, you need to do some more work setting up some of those what are called local citations about your business across the internet to get Google to know more about your company. So that's basically the offline marketing, whether to put your website on the other marketing or not. And I think you should. And if you haven't got a domain name yet, maybe use that as a reason to find one that's a little bit shorter and easier to enter into a browser to go to. Hope you're enjoying these podcast episodes. Please leave a rating and review on iTunes if you're able. I greatly appreciate that, and be sure to If you feel like I'm not covering something in each of these sections that you wanted to hear about or wanted to get more detail on, please go to facebook.com/flippingjunkie. That's JUNKIE, and just leave your messages there, and let me know about them so I can try to cover everything you want to find out about. So the next podcast we'll be talking about the pay-per-click stuff, AdWords, Bing Ads, and then the next one after that will be about SEO, content marketing, so on and so forth. So you guys have a great week. Thank you so much for listening to Flipping Junkie Podcast. Really do appreciate it, and talk to you later.